New Year. Joining me from Atlanta, Goldie Taylor, CEO of the Goldie Taylor Project, along with Judson Phillips, the founder of the Tea Party Nation, who joins us from Nashville. A happy New Year to both of you, and thank you for joining us. Goldie, I want to start with you. We're now 24 hours away from the Iowa caucuses. The candidate everyone seems to be talking about ahead of tomorrow is Rick Santorum, who's made quite a surge as of late. What are we to make of his latest rise? Could this late momentum, do you think, be enough to carry him through Iowa tomorrow?
You know, I'm a strong believer in momentum, that he or she that gets to the finish line with the most momentum tends to win the race. But I'm also a big fan of doing the small things to make it all work. And so while others were out, performing him in debates and maybe outperforming him in some other ways, Rick Santorum was doing the work on the ground. He was going door to door, block by block, person to person in all 99 counties in Iowa, going at it, on a person-to-person basis. That's adding up. He's going with the same message that he's held for his entire career, and I think, that's resonating. Unlike somebody like Romney, who I think, will say what you want, to hear,
and
when you want to hear it.
Goldie, even as you describe Rick Santorum, we're watching pictures of him right now in Iowa, where he's meeting again with what looks like a fairly small crowd of people, again appealing to them, just as said. I want to move to Judson now. Judson, your favored candidate, Newt, what's happened? I've still got our bet in the back of my mind, but at one point it seemed as if Newt was riding high. Now he's fallen a bit, even saying today he doesn't even think he's going to win in Iowa. If Newt isn't the candidate, can the Tea Party rally behind a candidate like Mitt Romney?
Well, the Tea Party will never rally behind Mitt Romney. Iowa
really?
is
Never?
just the first... Never. I think I've told you this before. We've done surveys on our site where it shows 1/3 to 1/2 of the Tea Party members will not vote for Mitt Romney if he's the nominee in the general election, which is probably going to encourage Team Obama to start sending out more people to help vote for Romney in the primaries. But, Iowa is just the first step in this whole process. A week from now, we'll be talking about New Hampshire. 2 weeks from now, we'll be talking about South Carolina. And 3 weeks from now, we'll be talking about Florida. And in all the national polls, Newt Gingrich is still right up there at the top. He does well in both South Carolina and Florida. And, of course, the other good news that's going to be coming out of this is at least one candidate's going to drop out. And since the conservative vote is so fragmented right now, whoever drops out, presumably Botman, her supporters are going to go somewhere. And hopefully, from my point of view, it'll be Newt. But wherever they go, they're going to help one of the conservative candidates.
Judson, you're being a little bit premature because Michelle Botman has already said she's bought a ticket to New Hampshire, so she's not dropping out. Goldie, back to you for a moment. Ron Paul had some momentum, but we've seen some slippage there. He's drawing criticism in recent weeks for controversial newsletters published under his name, including this racially charged line about the Los Angeles riots, quote, "Order was only restored when it came time for blacks to pick up their welfare checks." I mean, what kind of candidate allows his own organization, even if he didn't use those words himself, to publish such a thing?
I think Ron Paul and the news tends to be the gift that keeps on giving. And so every time we turn around, there's a new revelation for something that went out under his signature. And whether he wrote it or not, whether a ghostwriter did it or not, it was out under his signature and his newsletter. And so he bears responsibility for it. That's tough stuff for, a candidate like Ron Paul. But, 100,000 or so caucus goers will go out for this election tomorrow. And Ron Paul will have the same passionate people who have been behind him, last week will be behind him tomorrow, and they'll show up to vote. But will that spell victory for him? Probably not. Santorum really does have, the leg up in terms of gaining momentum and having the trust of conservative voters. Iowa is a lot of things. It's white, it's rural, it's evangelical, and, they're going to come out for a candidate like Santorum tomorrow. I don't think that Mitt's going to come out of this ahead. I don't think that, Ron Paul is going to come out of this ahead. Maybe that's the top three, Romney, Paul, Santorum, but not necessarily in that order.
Goldie Taylor and Judson Phillips, stay with us if you